I wasn't trying to read anything on the left. It's just, unfortunately, the dialogue gets kind of, or not dialogue, the writing is a little bit muddled. I think this game is French, so there's some translation bits here and there. There's also a lot of writing and whatnot. What are the good in-game requirements for this game? Not killing anyone? Yep. It's actually... Oh, hi. It's actually super easy to get the, It's actually super easy to get the good ending. Except for the fact that, you know, gameplay gets much harder. Because you have to... Well, you're gonna be under-leveled. These guys... I didn't kill him?
I have it. I can now open the box.
Okay, there we go. So, these guys didn't spawn in until I read that note. So yeah, what ending am I going for? Absolutely the good ending. I am a complete goody two-shoes when it comes to playing games. It's rare that I will go for the evil ending. Usually I will only ever go for the evil ending of a game if I absolutely hate everyone. And that's really rare. I don't remember the last time I went with, like, a full bad guy ending. Not often. So they're not cunts that make it really hard to avoid ending their lives. I want to say there's exactly about 7 people that are worth killing.
I really don't know if I should read this.
Edgar. Edgar, can you hear me?
Jonathan, is it really you?
Easy. Easy. Save your strength. I'm getting you out of here.
Don't try to spare me. As a physician, I know all too well when it's too late. Punctured lung, broken ribs, and internal bleeding. An accurate diagnosis, wouldn't you say?
Edgar, what happened?
They wanted me to confess. Beat me black and blue.
Jeffrey McCullum ambushed me at the Pembroke Hospital. He was convinced you and I were responsible for the skal epidemic.
I never imagined that self-righteous fanatic would dare to attack us in the open. What became of him?
To prove him wrong, I let him go.
Really? Are you sure that was the wisest course of action?
Time will tell. The most intriguing part of his accusation was that you and I were the pawns of some ancient vampire.
William Marshall. Yes, they tortured me to make me confess the same nonsense.
I think you're hiding something, Edgar.
What do you mean?
William Marshall, for example. You speak of him as if you know him. How is that?
Jonathan, I cannot say I'm ready for another round of questions.
Why would the Guard of Priwen believe you and I created the vampire epidemic?
Maybe due to our profession? Because I offered you shelter in my hospital.
What can you tell me about William Marshall?
Not much. History paints the story he was the greatest knight who ever lived. Amongst the immortals, he had a yet greater legend.
Why is the Guard of Priwen so obsessed with him?
He was the only ancient vampire to escape the first great hunt launched by the Guard of Priwen in 1854. They believe he's an evil creature plotting his return.
Why would he deserve such a reputation?
I cannot say. The Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole has next to no intelligence on him. All I know is that he's supposed to be the oldest of all the British vampires.
While investigating the epidemic, I read some of McCullum's findings. I think you have some explaining to do.
I have nothing to hide, Jonathan. Nothing at all.
Do you know Doris Fletcher's real name?
No, I'm afraid not.
Her real name was Doris Jones. She was the daughter of Harriet Jones.
What do you want me to say, Jonathan?
Do you remember when we suspected Sean Hampton of killing Harriet Jones?
Yes. The terrible episode that came as a shock to us all.
Harriet Jones faked her own death. When I found her in the sewers, she confessed she wanted everybody to pay for what happened to her.
That woman was extremely bitter, full of hatred and festering anger.
Doris Fletcher visited her mother at the Pembroke Hospital. That's how she first got infected.
I know nothing about that. Miss Fletcher once came to visit the sick. That is all I know.
No, Edgar, there is more. Doris Fletcher was Harriet Jones's daughter. They exhibited the same symptoms: blind hate and strong physical mutation.
What does this sad story have to do with us?
Do you know where we are? Doris Fletcher's theater. This is where that hateful creature plotted to spread the epidemic across London.
I only briefly met Miss Fletcher once when she visited the Pembroke Hospital. You say it was to see her mother. She seemed like such a sweet and graceful woman.
My point exactly. The disease turned her into a bitter soul, driven by vengeance just like her mother. A symptom of all the infected patients.
Certain diseases are known to produce similar effects. Rabies, for example. And rabies is not the devil at work.
Come on, Edgar. Don't you see the pattern here? The epidemic, the link between Doris and Harriet, the suspicion of McCullum?
How could I? I never saw Harriet Jones again after she fled the hospital.
Doris and Harriet shared more than a hidden family bond. They were the embodiment of the epidemic and are linked to the Pembroke Hospital. Come on, Edgar, this is no coincidence.
I swear I'm at a complete loss. All I did was administer vampire blood to cure old Harriet. There was no evil plan, no diabolical plot.
You did what?
I tested the regenerating and healing properties of vampire blood on Harriet Jones. My only intention was to find the cure for influenza, I swear.
Whose blood did you use? William Marshall's? Mine?
Lady Ashbury's. While transfusing her with human blood, humanely appeasing her hunger, I also kept samples of her blood for my research.
You used her blood on Harriet Jones? My God, Edgar, that's unethical. You betrayed 2 of your patients at the same time.
I made a mistake. But what is science if not trial and error? We both know it, Jonathan, we both know it.
What a poor justification for your morbid fascination and thirst for glory.
You have worked beside me. You saw what I'm doing at Pembroke Hospital. Jonathan, you know I'm not an evil soul. Just another victim of this tragedy.
Huh. So no blue option. I tried every dialogue option, so we can let him die. We can kill him, which I don't want to do. We can turn him into a vampire. Sure.
No, Edgar, you are not going to die. Unless you want to.
What do you mean?
I can save you, Edgar. I can turn your broken body into one like mine.
You truly would? After all I've done, after all that's been said, you would offer me this gift?
I have no way of knowing which punishment would be worse, Edgar. But it is not for me to decide. So?
Oh, please, Jonathan, please. I beg you. This is what I've always wanted. This is what I've always searched for.
Very well, then. Prepare to die and be reborn. To face an eternity of guilt.
I'm ready. Oh, indeed, I am ready.
He is
Enough.
way too into this. Hint failed? What? What do you mean hint failed? What did I do? Well. I really like the decor in this room. Like, I gotta look at it for a second. I love the posters. I mean, admittedly, we've seen the Sappho posters so many times. But, like, they really did actually make quite a lot of portraits of this one woman. Like, the dress mannequin and stuff. Oh, God. That thing has polygonal boobs. Okay, maybe maybe they got a little lazy on that one. I guess it doesn't really matter. Anywho. So, yeah. I have vamped 2 people now. Yeah, I did say I would lose some EXP. That part kind of sucks. But whatever, I mean... Do we only have 1 boss left? I believe that hint is from letting him die. Oh. Well, in that case, ha. I guess that's, an easy thing to avoid. Oh, dude. It's England. Those are metric boobs. Metriconal. Anyway, yeah. I believe chapter 6 is the last, like, actual chapter. Is it not? And then we're on to, kind of... like, kind of the epilogue, like, end? I could be wrong. Usually that's how it works with games. I know there's 7. Unless I'm very, very wrong. Well, let's see. So we've got a couple of things to do. I guess I might as well swing over here and do this quick. Because we've got...
Jones became the original carrier when Edgar gave her vampire blood. I must tell Elizabeth.
Let's get some side quests and some other things done. If I'm going to be resting, I might as well, jeez. At this point, I do not have time to grind again, so whatever EXP we have, that's what we got. I was considering grinding one more time before this session, but, oh well, it's not that big of a deal.
It's locked, all right.
You kidding me? Oh. Oh, we're here. Okay, never mind. I've never opened that gate before, but I don't need to. I was worried for a second they locked one of the gates on me and I wouldn't be able to go back straight through. What's max level? 60. I'm halfway there. I'm probably never gonna get there, honestly. I want to just hack some EXP in. I could. Put myself solidly at level 35. I mean, let's see how much how many levels I can get here. I can probably get like 1 or 2, honestly. Like with relative ease. But yeah, I absolutely could give myself some more EXP if I really cared about it. But like, I already had to do that because I lost all the grinding previously, and I don't know. I always feel a small amount of guilt for cheating when I don't need to. I was more thinking about maxing my level. Okay, see, that makes more sense. I was like, if I get stuck, if I can't win, I'll consider it. However, maxing my level at some point would be kind of fun to do.
Give us strength! The beast must die! God walks with me!
Okay, let's get some blood back from you. Thank you very much. Perfect. I guess let's just wail on him. There we go. Alright, so where's this restaurant? It's somewhere around here. Not that. Maybe it's on the inside. Maybe I'm in the wrong section. Yeah, you can get the best weapon in the game now. Yeah. Okay, so where's this restaurant? Oh, it's in this area. Sorry, I was looking for the exact center. But no, it's probably along this. What am I doing? We just gotta look for the sandwich board. But no. Maybe before I'm done, I'll crank it up for funsies. So where do you get cheat engine so you can try? Just Google cheat engine. It's, I don't know if it's open source, but it's totally free. I use it occasionally, especially if a game is giving me trouble. Or if there's like a really, really long and pointless grind that I would normally prefer to skip.
I cannot enter.
Okay, yeah, it's in the mall area.
Your prey is mine! Gotcha!
Do I have the ability to conjure the shadow attackers? Is that it? There we go. Blind Gourmet's menu. Today's menu.
A restaurant where the guests are blindfolded before being seated. Intriguing.
Alright, Blind Gourmet, today's menu, entrees. Guess what? Mystery plate, exquisite flavors, main courses, tasteful surprise, wonderful savors, refined curiosity, desserts, sweet mystery, hot and cold surprise, palate revolution. Forewarning, all of our customers are blindfolded before sitting at their table. They are invited to use all their senses to enjoy their meals, except their sight. Now that's kind of cool. See, isn't cheat engine kind of hard to use, though? It is mildly difficult, more or less at first. Once you get the hang of cheat engine, it's not so bad. Some of the more advanced things are kind of tough to do. Okay, so I can't summon the shadow clones. Dang. Because, like, summoning shadows seems like that has potential for extreme broken tactics. Let's see. But no, cheat engine's kind of easy. I mean, right now, what I could do if I wanted to. It wouldn't work for this game. Or at least what I've currently done. But if you notice it says 4,155 right now. I could look at that value and uptick that to 9,000 really easily. All you do is say, okay, search for the value 4,155, and then go kill something which would put it up by 5, 10, 15 EXP or something like that. And then you search the value again with the next, like, scan again, and then it would give you the exact address, and then you switch it up to like 100,000. Problem is, with this game, it has two experience values. There's the total EXP and the current. and if you raise one without raising the other, it bugs out and causes problems. Which is actually what happened to me. Apparently my total EXP value got fixed somehow, and I had to verify the cache to fix that, which is weird. Anyway.
Good evening, Jonathan Reid. Can I help you in any way?
Okay. So bring it back to... Okay. So we're just supposed to bring this back to him.
I found your notebook. The one the guard of Prewan stole from you.
And you've brought it back to me. That's excellent news, Jonathan. Were you able to keep yourself from reading it?
Yes. I give it back to you untouched.
Then, my friend, you deserve a little something to reward your fortitude. Please, have this, with my gratitude.
What's in the notebook?
I can't answer you, Jonathan, since you chose not to open it.
Goodbye, sir.
I rarely wander, yet it amuses me to converse with your kind. Cards never lie, but they are never easy.
Okay, so we just got a note. Which variety? This one? No. Which one? Not the Vampire Knight, Iker's Threat, Blood is Addiction. Origin of the Brotherhood. This is the one. Okay, so that symbol on the note is important. So the name of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole comes from the mythical figure of Paul Aurelian, Latin Paulinus Aurelianus, the great Welshman evangelist of the 6th century. Paul Aurelian is supposed to have died in 1575 at the age of 140 years. He was one of the 7 founding saints of Brittany. According to the legend, St. Paul Aurelian used his sacred stole as a leash to tame a ferocious dragon, and then cast the terrible beast into the sea. The saint is long gone now, but we of the Brotherhood keep his stole as a precious relic. Sometimes called the Brotherhood of the Stole, or even the Stole, we are a secret society of scholars who observe and identify the presence and activity of the vampires in Great Britain. Known as Watchers, the men and women of the Brotherhood vow to express a neutral attitude towards vampires. We believe we can be useful guidelines for those immortals sometimes tempted to unleash their appetite. We postulate that vampires are not evil by essence. Over the centuries, we have witnessed some vampires are able to transcend their predatory nature to protect mortals. Great mythological or historical figures which we know were vampires proved that enlightened immortals might agree to protect and guide mankind through difficult ages. Above the Watchers are the Legates, who represent the authority of the primate wherever they go. As such, they have the right to call for the Band of the Dragon. It's an ancestral ritual only known by the primate himself, used when the time comes, and proof has been gathered that another beast must be cast into the sea. The gathering and study of ancient texts. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out what the Band of the Dragon might necessarily do, but I don't know. So, study of ancient texts are a main source of information used to understand the origin and behavior of the immortals. Recently, I decided that our legates should be allowed to travel and explore all parts of the world to expand our field of researches. Blessed by the sacred stole, the bravest of our watchers even dare to approach and contact vampires to interview them and gather intelligence at the source. We have so much to learn and to discover. Our journey may never end, and that we may be the greatest beauty of that may be the greatest beauty of our task. From Whispers of Our Past by Usher Talltree, Primate of St. Paul. Okay, do you want the code for the sword? Oh. Okay. Huh. So I need to find some of these.
Need to read.
This might be tough. So, Myth of the Horned Vampire. Rare species of vampire. Origin of the skals. So 4. I might just need the code. I don't know where all these books are, and this is one of those where I don't feel like hunting them all down. Where'd my notepad go? It has disappeared on me. It's unfortunate. That sucks. Okay. I don't know where all the books are. Huh. So, we just have the code. Let's see if I can do this.
The Fool and the Empress.
Fish, circle, square, circle, fish, diamond. How do we... Oh! I get it. Okay. So we want to go back to this. Where'd my notepad go? I'll be right back. I need to draw this. I need to write this down. Okay, I have no idea where one of my notepads went. Shell must have just devoured it or something. He has a habit of just walking off with my notepads. Oh well, it's not the end of the world. Okay. So, I think the positioning of this matters here. So, fish, square, or no, fish, circle, square, circle, fish, diamond. Let me grab this. Again, so fish, circle, square, circle, fish, diamond. Gotcha. Okay, so left, up, right, left, up, down. Or as I spelled it out, Lurlud. Okay, so this is left. Left. Up. Right. Left. Up. Down. Nope, that didn't work. Okay. So, fish... No. That's not right. Okay. So... I'm looking at this here. Somebody else is taking a picture. So it's definitely fish, circle. Left, up, right, up, left, down. Yeah, so I've got screenshots of the documents here. I'm gonna go with that. So square. 4 is circle. 5 is fish. Yeah, so I think the order just got mixed. So it's left, up, right, up, left, down. So lurled instead. Alright, let's try this again. Left, up, right. Oh, this is a really boring pattern. There we go, that's the one. Yeah, so the way to do this normally is by finding every document in the game, and then reading the little, like, notes. Notes? The little, like, icons and stuff. There's, like, some symbols and whatnot. But I don't know where they are, and I don't have time to hunt them down, even if they're interesting documents. I'm sorry. Anyway, we might as well get the true Dragonbane, and whatever that note is. So, Recollections of Paulus Aurelianus. To any of my legates, or any clever stranger who would one day decipher the code leading to this parchment, this was not written for you, but for me. As the founder of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, I had many names, and too long a story. These few lines are meant to help me remember who I was, what choices I made, and why I did what I chose to do, and to never cease to inquire about immortals, and firmly banish any of them who would prove evil. Through the centuries of my long life, I've been given many names and many titles, but I remember being born on the beautiful island of Albion. I forgot the precise date, but I was told it was during the summer of the first quarter of the 5th century, after the birth of the Christian Messiah. I vaguely remember my mother's voice, as sweet as fresh honey, when she sang to my older brother and me. She named me Paul and my brother Emrys. My father was a strong knight of the kingdom of Penichin. Penichin? Probably Penichin or something. I think I had a happy childhood. I learned to read when I was taught by wise men. Then the Saxons came, and all was lost. The invaders came from the east and took the land. That was before the false prophet, now known as the Horned Trickster, presented himself in front of King Gwarthgirn to foresee the fight of the red and white dragons and the defeat of our people. His words were so powerful that the king made him his advisor. As soldiers, as warriors, my father and my brother had no choice but to stand by their king and fight. As a priest, I was free to choose another path. After the death of our mother, I led the exile of my people. I led them across the sea, the young, the old, and the sick, to the islands of Ushant and Bats, to the city of Oskamor, where we had to learn new languages. And in all these places I went, I spoke the truth and the true faith, and I spoke about the devil and his crooked horns. With the years, I almost forgot the face of my mother and force of my youth, and about the fall of our land and the death of my relatives. I had so much to accomplish. I was a bishop, and I flocked to guide. My eyes looked into the future. I forgot how to remember my previous life. I was old and at peace when my brother Emrys found me. Many years after his tomb had been sealed, I saw his dead flesh walk towards me in the dim light of the evening. His rotted mouth spoke ill of me. He called me a traitor, for I had fled the land of our ancestors while he remained to fight. The trickster was his master now. He had granted him a natural and prolonged life. I called my own brother the son of the dragon, and a dragon himself, for that was what he had become, but he refused to listen. He wanted me to join him to help him protect Albion, to unite our people again in the next battles to come. To achieve victory, he offered me everlasting life. As I refused, he attacked me, and his fangs and claws went deep into my flesh. Finally, I managed to bind him with my stole, and the power of God struck him. Then I sent him away, back to the sea and to the shadows, forbidden to ever come back. This is the true story of my brother and of my stole. This is how we were both defeated. For my words did not convince him, and his bite corrupted me. Soon I died, and I rose from my grave to forever walk under the clouded moon. I drank the blood, I changed my face. For the crime I had committed upon my own kin, I swore to go back to Albion. There I would watch and protect the land in my own way, strengthened by my faith, but blinded by the sun. Of my weakness, I would make strength, a ray of hope in the darkness for the centuries to come, under many disguises among the living things, bound to my oath to protect the living from the threat of the dragons, ready to ban any of them who would prove evil. So he got turned into a vampire as well. And might still be around? Who knows?
Good evening.
Anything to ask him about? The answer is no. There's one hint required, but that's
I rarely
probably either when we talk to what's-his-face, or when we talk to Dr. Swansea, or when we, if we were to read that book. Neither of which would happen, honestly. Paul is the one that turned you into the vampire. Except for the horned one turned me into the vampire. So I actually don't know. Yeah, don't forget to equip my new sword. Let me just do it from any menu. I might have to upgrade it first, though. Yeah, the true Dragonbane is a little heftier. Let's equip it, and then let's go upgrade it here. I love the music for this game. I said I was going to get the soundtrack, and then Unravel came out, and I got distracted. I'm committed to the idea, though. Okay, so we want to do here. So, True Dragonbane versus the Remarkable Saber. I just wanted to look at this thing. So, Perfect Saber does damage. Actually, yeah, some amount of blood points, too. But not what I'm here for. True Dragonbane. Looks like, straight up, it just does a lot of damage. Now, I could get it up to do even more damage. The one problem is we'd lose all of our blood bonus. Well, we've got the aluminum parts. So let's go damage here, because that's just stamina consumption. And damage again, 390. So I could get the damage all the way up to 423. But no, I should go blood. Sustainability is kind of the most important thing about my fighting style. And the extra damage would be lovely, but I'd have half as much blood for it. Let's see, I've maxed out the perfect pre-win stake. Makes it seem like there's a lot more weapons in this game than there probably are, but I could be wrong. There could be a ton of weapons. Anyway, thank you, Dragon's Bane. Hello, new Dragon's Bane. I'm glad that the true Dragon's Bane was in the game. Oh, my coat is literally going through my body right now. It looks real stupid. You can see my butt. This isn't how coats are supposed to work. Let's see. Right. I'm going the right direction. There are a ton. Yeah, I figured. It's a shame that the True Dragon's Bane is, I guess, going to be the best weapon of the game, because it's not the end of the world. My brand. Oh, it's nice to know that the butt was properly modeled, and as soon as I went through that area, it reloaded my model. That's funny. There's a scythe weapon in the game. I don't know. There's like some two-handed weapons, but I haven't found many of them, and most of them weren't very good. Some of them were decent, though. Okay. So we were going to talk to... Calhoun Russell. We were going to report on the food, at the very least. Hello. Will you speak?
Good evening, Dr. Reid. A great night, what?
So his mouth does move today, this time around. Anyway.
I have found a restaurant that could satisfy you, Mr. Russell. The most intriguing and exotic restaurant in London.
Really? You have piqued my interest. Where is it?
It's a place where you eat in complete darkness and try to identify your meal without anything but your palate.
My, oh my, how interesting. It could even be fun to eat a little poisson et fruit that way. Oh, thank you, Dr. Reid. Please, have this for your research.
Goodbye, Mr. Russell. I'm sure you'll take care of yourself.
I think most two-handed weapons are slower and don't match my specific style. Oh, absolutely. I would not... The only weapon I would switch in for the weapon I currently have is the hacksaw. And the reason why I'd switch in the hacksaw instead is the hacksaw would let me get twice as much blood. But for half the damage, not even worth it. Not even worth considering. Alright, so the next step is to go find Lady Ashbury. Oh, in her manor. Okay. This is not the right area. We want to go this way. Okay. Onwards. Slowly.